a sudden, and we are missionaries in Belize. But when we were moving to Belize, we didn't have a place to live. Have any of you ever not had a home where you could live? Well, sometimes that might be kind of scary. So my children and I, we began to pray every day that Jesus would provide a house that was in the country. And number two, I prayed that Jesus would give us a house with a tiled bathroom. And I know that sounds kind of funny, but sometimes bathrooms are just cement and it can get really gross and you can't clean any of the mess up in there very well. And when we got to Belize, we began to look for a house to live in. And one of the houses that we thought might be an opportunity for us to live in, we realized, you know what? They just rented it the day before, and it was right in the village. And I thought to myself, you know what? When we lived in Bolivia, we had to live in the city for a year and a half, and I don't ever want to have to live in the city again. And so I said, no, let's look a little more. And there was another house across the street, and we went inside the house and we looked, and the house was very dirty. There were clothes all over the place, and we went up the stairs, and there were all of these little tiny rooms. And whenever we went, I looked into the room. Do you know what was on the floor in the room? There was rat mess, and there was bat mess, and there were a whole bunch of rooms, and all of them were full of all those things. And I thought, ooh. And I said, God, I don't want to be picky, but this is gross. And when I walked downstairs, I looked into the bathroom, and in the bathroom, it was dark and it was really dirty, and there was no tile in the bathroom. And I went into the kitchen, and there were lots of dirty dishes that had been there for a really long time. And my friend who was going to be staying with us, she said, well, we can clean the house. And I said, no, I don't want to live in this house. And I started to cry, and my husband said, honey, you've never cried before, and we've lived in many places and you've always been okay. I said, I would rather build a hut out in the jungle and sleep in the jungle, but I don't want to live in this dirty house. So he said, okay, we won't live in this house. And so we kept looking, and we drove down another road, and we saw a house way up on stilts. It was so high on stilts that you could walk under the house, and I could reach up as tall as I could reach, and I couldn't even touch the bottom of the house. And I thought, let's see if we can look in this house, because this house is in the country. So we went asking around, and we finally found the dad of the man that owned this house. And he said, well, this house isn't finished, but you can look at it and see if you want to stay in it. So we went, and the outside of this house was not very pretty. It needed to be painted, and it was a really small house. But I said, let's look inside. So we walked up the stairs, and do you know what was in the kitchen? Nothing. It was just a room. There wasn't any place to put a sink. There was nothing in there. And then I walked into one of the bedrooms, and there were no doors on the bedrooms. And I walked into the bathroom, and do you know what I found in the bathroom? You're never going to believe it. I found a tiled bathroom. And I said, this is just the house for us. God provided the two things that we asked for, and that was a tiled bathroom and to live in the country. So I want to encourage you, if you have to leave your house or whatever you have to leave behind, God knows just exactly what we need, and He will provide what we need.